when we're thinking about certain categories of content on social, one of them that I think we need to focus on is our people and making sure that we are highlighting the humans behind our brand. Welcome to the Authentically Social Podcast. My name's Corey Perlman, and I'm here with my wife, Jessica Perlman. In the past, it was perfectly acceptable to pay no attention to what's going on behind the curtain. But today, that's exactly what your audience wants to see. This podcast unpacks tried and true principles to put culture, community, and connection at the core of your digital strategy. Let's get going. Hey, everybody, we're back with another round of Authentically Social Principles. I'm excited about today. See what we got. Let me know.
Yeah, let's get started. So our principle for today is humanize your brand. And the mantra that we want you to keep in mind is talk more about your baristas and less about your coffee. What in the world does that mean?
That's fair enough. That I was probably a little extra creative on that tagline. People are like, "What exactly do you mean by that?" So the origin of that particular mantra was pre-pandemic. You know, I was an avid Starbucks coffee person, and not only that, but I would go into a certain Starbucks all the time. And I just remember being more connected to that particular Starbucks because of the people and not the product. I love coffee. As you know, I'm not loyal to Starbucks coffee. I like it, but I'll drink any coffee, like good coffee. And so it's not about that, you know, and it's not about that with a lot of products and services, to be candid, but it's the people. I mean, I knew the people really well. I knew their stories. They knew mine. They treated me really well. And that was really important. So it was a reminder to me that why can't we do more of that on social? To connect people to the brand, or the people behind the brand really is what makes the brand go anyway. And so when we're thinking about certain categories of content on social, one of them that I think we need to focus on is our people and making sure that we are highlighting the humans behind our brand. And so when I say talk more about the baristas, less about the coffee, it's a reminder to all of us that we should talk more about our people and less about our products.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might have downplayed that a little bit. I mean, you were living in Starbucks. You would certainly spend a lot of time there, but we would even have friends who would go to that Starbucks and they'd say, "Can you make me Corey special?" And they would know exactly what kind of drink they were looking for. So it was definitely an opportunity for you to build that connection. And it was really like your work colleagues in a lot of ways. You know, when you went to your water cooler, you would be talking with the people of Starbucks. So you talk about highlighting your people. I mean, what are some ways that we can do that? What are some ways that we can show that human part behind our brand?
Yeah, so we're all about action here, and you know, as we always say with any of these kind of things, that it's so important just in the kind of a content perspective to get to the action for people to know what to do with this information. It's great to tell stories and all that, but you know, people want action. So I want to make sure we do that in every one of these episodes that we do. So the action, I think, here is to, you know, carve out consistent areas of content that are geared toward people learning about the people behind your brand. So a couple of examples of that, spotlighting your team. And we're doing that right now with our team, letting people know who they are and what their passions are and their values and all that, their hobbies, their interests, that kind of thing. So getting to know the people behind your brand and spotlighting them on social, I think, is a great way of doing that. I think, you know, the kind of the old adage of, you know, the secret behind making the sausage or whatever, but giving people a peek behind the scenes as to how you do things. You know, what might be mundane and a typical day for you might be very interesting for other people to see. So an example of that might be, you know, we work with a lot of furniture retail places. And so the process of picking certain brands, of how you set up your showcase rooms, you know, what goes into why you pick certain pieces, and the history behind those pieces. Sometimes we have one client that literally goes to the ends of the earth to find certain pieces of furniture, all the way to Italy, or literally goes on different continents to find furniture. That's pretty interesting, I think, to show those sneak peek behind the scenes. So that's another way that I think that you can humanize your brand and get behind the scenes for folks. And then, a third one I would say is you can incorporate video, kind of like we're doing here, and maybe as the owner or not, but interview either your team or maybe other aspects of your team. Maybe it's suppliers, maybe it's part of your community, but letting the outside world in on who you are as a brand and also the brands that you are connected to. I think a big part of this, Jess, is linking your business to your community, which I think is also really good about humanizing the brand.
Yeah. And I think whenever you talk about like some of the team members, we can't forget our furry friends.
Sure.
So we all know that dogs and cats win on the internet and people love to see that. So even opportunities where you can show, with people working in a home environment, maybe they have their cat or dog with them, or at the office, they may have some of the pets with them and everything. So I think that is a relatable way to humanize your brand. People can say, I have a dog too. And that just really creates that opportunity for engaging in your content. I guess the other question about that, like you said, you show, if you pull back the curtain and you show a little bit more of the inside of your brand, we oftentimes will relate that to the Wizard of Oz, where he's standing behind this big booming voice, and then you pull back the curtain and you get to see who that really is. I guess the question would be, whenever a client has come to us with maybe low engagement, or they're struggling to find content that's relatable, is there an example of a client situation where you might have suggested some things for them to do to try to pull in a little bit more of the humanizing aspect for their brand?
Yeah, we've had a couple of professional service groups. Dale Carnegie comes to mind, and using the form of kind of like what we're doing, like podcasting, where somebody from the brand, might be the CEO or the franchise owner or whatever, interviews clients, community leaders, that type of thing. But that gives the audience some added value with the interview between the CEO or the client and yourself. But it also gives them just a little bit more of you, right? You just get a little bit more aspect of the business through the CEO as the interviewer, and then of course the value that they're getting from the interviewee. So I think that's one thing that we've helped a lot of our clients over the years do is create a stage like this where they're either interviewing or in a lot of cases being interviewed, which I think is good too. And they can provide value to both their customers, clients, as well as prospects. One thing that I've noted throughout the years with our clients is, man, in each industry is a wealth of information that they just got in their brains that is secondary, second knowledge to them. And to get that out, we have some periodontists that, have spent 75% of their lives learning about the mouth and gum disease and gum health and overall health. And so bringing that to light and getting them more comfortable talking about that in a very layman kind of, and like we're talking about, very action-oriented type of way. Here are some ways that you can take care of your mouth between times that you see your dentist or your dental surgeon, is very valuable to their audience. And so just getting them more comfortable doing that is humanizing their brand, plain and simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So break it down for us, Corey. If there were 3 things that we could take away today to do to try to work more towards humanizing our brand, what would those 3 action steps be?
3. Okay. Well, I would say number 1 is to have a category of content, a bucket of content, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk in different video sessions about creating a content calendar, but in that content calendar, having a category dedicated to humanizing your brand and the people behind your brand. So that in itself will make sure that you are shining the spotlight, not just on ourselves or our products and services, but on the team that makes it all happen. So that's one. Number two is looking for opportunities to bring in ancillary parts of what you would consider your brand. As I mentioned already, community partners, charity partners, I think are great. Opportunities to shine that spotlight. Think of that spotlight that you use. And oftentimes it's our products, our services, but you have the opportunity to turn that spotlight around and shine it on a charitable nonprofit that your business supports. And oftentimes what we do at Impact Social is we let our clients know that because of them, we get to support these charitable organizations that we love so much, such as some furry friend places that we get, these non-kill adoption agencies, stuff like that. So that means a lot to them, and that connects them more to our brand. So finding ways to create connection beyond just our people to other, community groups, I think is really good. And then number three, around humanizing the brand and talking more about your baristas, less about your coffee, is really what it boils down to: video. Video in itself connects us more to the brand. You can feel us, see us, sense the passion, the enthusiasm as of whatever you're talking about. So if you're not currently doing video with your overall social content, you're not humanizing the brand. Humanizing, by definition, is seeing the human, not just imagery, but by feeling them. And there's no better way of doing that than video. So finding ways to turn that video camera on and creating content, however you do that through video, will in itself create more opportunities for humanizing the brand.
All great points, all things that you can take away and apply today to your business. So our mantra: talk more about your baristas and less about your coffee. Until next time, get out there and humanize your brand. Thanks for listening. We're over here giving you a digital high five for completing another episode. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to take a screen grab and share it across your social media. Don't forget to tag us at Corey Perlman Speaks. I hope we can stay connected by following each other, as we are excited to see more of your social media journey.